Today we'll be going over the mounting of the wall unit for the crystal lights and crystal bed, and some of the elements that pertain to it. What we are looking at right here is the base plate that mounts to the wall with the attached power supply. Now the power supply is going to already be attached onto this unit. If we can zoom in, we'll see the power supply right here. And the part that you will be plugging in is the part that goes to the wall. So we have the wall outlet and the little three-way plug. You go ahead and put that in the wall, stick that into the power supply, and you can leave that plugged in. The power supply is designed exclusively for this system, so you can't inadvertently put the wrong type of plug on. You can see right here, this is a special plug. To remove it, you're going to be pulling down. To insert, you're going to pop it in, and we'll go over that shortly. The piece of oak that we use is designed to mount along studs that are found inside your wall. So these are four screw holes drilled 16 inches on center, which would bring it right to where studs are. We have two different types of screws that come with this. If you're unsure about how to install the wood plate into drywall, get somebody who's somewhat experienced, maybe a handyman can do it. So we have the control box mounted to another piece of wood. This is the front side. This is the back side. The back side has a mounting plate that looks familiar if you've ever done it to a TV or a computer monitor. We also have these wedges that are connected together. The wedge is going to sit on the very top of this loosely. You don't need to put it on tight right now. And when we go and clip this on, there's a bracket on top that drops in place. So we just drop the bracket on. In and of itself right now, it's not going to fall off, but we do have a screw on the bottom that needs to be tightened. So I'm going to temporarily take these off, put this in place, tighten down the screw. You're going to take that wedge, put it back on, and gently press it into the metal part that's on here and the part that was back here. So you're wedging it, and what that's going to do is tighten up the two pieces of metal that are touching each other to keep it from rattling around. The control box itself, when it's flush against the wall, it comes all the way to about 5 inches away from the wall and brings itself out to a maximum of 14 inches. Now, because the studs are spaced every 16 inches, boom, 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 what we can do with this piece is offset it. So here's the center line. Here it is offset by 12 inches. Here it's offset by another 12 inches. So what we have is a total of 24 inches of movement from left to right to get this piece where we want it. We can fine tune it, move it in and out. When you're satisfied with it, ideally, if you can get it closer to the wall, that's great. The height of the base plate to the wall is going to be between 8 and 12 inches from the massage table. So if we have a massage table, let's say here, we want to get this plate on the bottom 8 to 12 inches from it. So we have a nice close-up of that. USB charge, music in, and power. These are all one-of-a-kind type of plugs, meaning that you can't inadvertently put one into the other. The power plug has a flat side to it, and you're just gonna rotate this gently until it drops into place. If you feel resistance, try it another direction, but very quickly the flat side is going to be facing the wood. And it's going to go snugly in until there's no more silver visible. To remove it, you have to pull on that plastic part, wiggle, and then it comes out. So again, we pushed it in until it made a solid connection. Music in, we're going to use that music in. And then USB charge, we're going to plug that one in. Gets the special plug for the lights. And this has a push to release on top. And it's going to come down, plug in, and push to release. So let's get this light bar put on quickly. So we have two holders in the back. You're going to hold on to your light bar, two hands, and you're going to gently place it into those holders. If you need a little bit more room, you can pull this out away from the wall first to get this put in. Now we're going to just push the light bar out of the way so we can see the connectors. Get another zoom in. We have an L-shaped connector here. That gets facing down. Push it in until you hear it click. To remove it, push on that silver button and pull it out. Push in to click. So right now we have memory, program, plus and minus. And when I push program, it's going to change the lights above. I'm on 4, 5, 6, 7, and it goes all the way to 14 and starts over again at 0. If you like one of the ones that you see, let's say I like number 2, I can hit memory. And what that does is keeps it in long-term storage, so when you come back after powering it back on, it will come back and restart at that favorite program. Now we have speed. 10 is the fastest, goes all the way down to 1. So if one of your light programs has any kind of special movement to it, you can change how fast it is. That is how the light program works. Get the whole light bar set up and you're satisfied with the placement of the holders. You've tightened down these two butterfly nuts here. You can do finger tight. It doesn't have to be so tight you need a wrench, just finger tight. The unit can move down 10 inches below the center portion, 36 inches above. It can also move out 36 inches towards me, plus an additional 12 inches out this way. So there really is a lot of adjustment that you can work with here. We also have the ability to angle the light bar if you need to, either direction, and the light bar itself will scooch to the left and right. So the crystals are double terminated, 24-sided, which sit inside the rubber O-rings that we have in place. These are the O-rings. What we do is we gently put it in and then take our hands and just lightly press. What you're looking for is a small amount up top and a larger amount on the bottom. To remove the crystals, wiggle left and right, and you can see it easily move up. Again, place the crystal in, give it a good push down. If you feel like your crystal is not sitting correctly, maybe it's too high or too low, there are other rings that come with this. On the rings we have numbers on the bottom. This one has 29. The 29 means that the diameter of this crystal is 29 millimeters. If you want it to sit higher up, you would choose a 28. If you wanted to sit lower, you would choose a 30. Yeah. The rings themselves are flat on one side and coming up to a peak on the other side. The peak side points up. The flat side points towards the client. If you can see the pink light, let's get this one. If you can see the pink light pointed up towards the ceiling, you need to rotate your holder the other way. So pink pointed towards the client. The way we put these rings in place, flat side bottom, pointed side top. We start at one corner, pop it in place, and just work it around with your thumb or your finger until it sits in. It's not going to fall out on its own. It's designed to be snug inside there. Once it is, we then place our crystal in, give it a little bit of pressure, and then it's good. Each one of these rings will be with its corresponding crystals. A quick word about the holders is that the music player is sending frequencies into each one of these holders. So each one of these holders has a coil inside of it, and we've designed it to create scalar energy. There is also another coil in there, which is a tensor field. This is based off of the research of Cy Sperling. We also have stationary magnets around the outside of the field. We have the LED ring. We have the full spectrum lighting. We have hundreds of little tiny crystal chips inside of these. Essential oils, all making into a nice matrix of orgonite.